Welcome back to Fourth and Three Dudes. It's been a while, over a month, but hey, we are here and we're ready to rehash a few things from the college playoffs. But I am Chris. I mean, it may not look like me. I did grow a beard over Christmas break.
Santa.
Got the Santa-esque look. Still got a little bit of dark hair in there. But anyway, coming to you from here in Peachtree Corners where we didn't have much snow. But go ahead and introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
I'm Bernie down here in St. Mary's. We got a heavy dusting, and it debilitated us for, well, it didn't. But anyway.
Shut down the golf carts for a day or so?
Yeah, we're over it.
Cord, 3-year letterman. All right, on with the show. Let's go.
All right.
Yes.
So, well, I mean, again, it's tradition. What you drinking? I'm going with some bourbon and Diet Coke.
What kind of bourbon? It's not that swill that burnt. Oh, hey, Bernie, what are you drinking?
It's good.
It's
good stuff.
Bernie's special pot
Is
liquor.
that turpentine mixture you made yourself?
No, this is Derringer Rabbit Hole. It's aged in sherry cask, and this is courtesy of Jennifer's Uncle Kent. Thank you, Uncle Kent. And yeah, it's very delicious. I like it.
No ice? Is ice
It
machine
melted.
broke?
It's melted because Name was late.
Hey, again, life
Name
happens.
had work to do. Name got to pay the paycheck.
I have Old Rasputin Russian Imperial from North Coast Brewing.
Let's see it.
Fort Bragg, California.
Nice.
Out of the bottle.
Oh,
What a man.
hey, Willow. All right. Well, let's get into it. I mean, I guess the main thing we want to talk about is the playoffs, and they just got done. And
Playoffs.
Congratulations to Ohio State Buckeyes for taking home the national championship this year. But wanted to talk a little bit about.
Congratulations. Fuck them.
Well.
And you know what? I've always hated Ohio State. They're the other OSU. But after they beat Oregon, that's my second favorite team now.
At least for the next couple of weeks or to the next
at least
cycle.
till next year. At least till next year.
Till end of spring practice.
But yeah, I guess really wanted to talk about Willow. Goodness, to talk a little bit about what did you think of the whole playoff structure? Did you like the way after we went through? I mean, again, the first time we've ever gone through a 12-team playoff. What did you? I mean, let's start off with what you liked about it. Is there anything in particular that you liked about this new structure in general?
Yeah, go Cord.
I kind of like the format, with the 12 teams and then the first round buys. But I don't. Okay, I'm staying positive. What else did I like about it? And I like the teams. The first round they got to play at school. I mean, it was just like a game day, with all the fans there. But it was an away game. It wasn't a half and half team like a bowl game would be. They were homers as far as the amount of home fans were in those stadiums.
Yeah. How about you, Bernie?
Well, I would agree that I like seeing the first round games on campus, but the games truly weren't very good. So I don't like the 12-team format. I think I've been outspoken. I thought 4 teams was enough. I think after this season, I would, if we could make the decision, I would like 6 teams and have, 2 teams get a bye. But that's not going to happen. Is the bottom line. So we're stuck with 12 teams, and we're probably going to go to 16 and 20. But if anything, I think the movement is to not give the bye weeks to the likes of like a Boise State, to mix it up a little bit. And that's not sour grapes. I mean, we had a bye, and I think all 3 of us felt like Georgia coming off in a bye was the best route. We had the best draw, and we just didn't. It didn't pan up. So, but overall, I would like to see it pan down, but that's not going to happen. My biggest concern, I think, with the playoffs is this season especially devalued the conference championship, like Court alluded to. And that's what I don't want to see, because you want to win the national championship every year, but as a Georgia fan, you want to win the SEC, and we did that this year, and it just didn't pan out and for the national championship. But I don't want to see those championship game weekends devalued, and I feel like it could be trending that way. What do y'all think?
How were they, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, like Nema said, no one that had a bye won their game. I mean, SEC championship, should provide some type of advantage in the playoffs, and it didn't. We didn't. Granted, we had a new quarterback, but we felt like having a bye weekend, we would have a chance to, you know, change the offensive system to Gunner Stockton, and that just didn't work for us. But I just don't feel like the championship game weekends were of value to the conferences, and they make a lot of money, and I don't see them going away. But I worry that there could be some changes ahead. We'll just have to see. It's all
Now, if
about
you
money.
went to just a 16 playoff, Ohio State and Notre Dame wouldn't have been in it this year.
Right.
And then
I guess
we'd have a paper champion, either like Oregon or Texas or Penn State.
yeah. So Oregon was a champion of the regular season, but Ohio State lost to Michigan, and then all of a sudden they decided we're going to play some football, and they were the best team in the playoffs. There's no question they should have won the national championship, but they weren't the best team in the regular season. So, I mean, it comes down to there's people that like the football and understand the best team, the best difficult schedules and all that, but comes down to Ohio State being the team that caught wind in the playoffs, and they won. They deserve it.
It's kind of like Major League Baseball, where it's not the best overall record. It's the hottest team at the end of the game, the end of the season. I mean, that's why the Braves have a hard time. They get there, but then they kind of flame out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I really did like the first round of the playoffs being on campuses. Getting back to, I guess the first part of what we were talking about. So the things I liked about it. I mean, I liked that. I thought the pageantry of that was great. I mean, I thought being on those, having the weather truly be a part of it, made it a really good thing. Just the being on campuses, period, and the fact that they're able to tie them in, and it did seem to go a long time. The playoffs did, but I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to drag on too long, and even though we lost in that the second round or whatever of it, I mean, I still thought it actually went a little bit better than I thought it was going to, at least in my opinion. So, granted, had all the different stuff that happened down in New Orleans, it kind of messed with our game a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I kind of liked it. I mean, have they made the decision that it's going to be 14 teams next year? Was that a definitive thing or definite thing?
I have not
I
heard.
don't think so. I mean, I would disagree. I thought that the ending on January 20th was kind of and maybe it was we saw the viewership went down like 5 million viewers compared to last year, but it just seemed like it was like, oh yeah, there's one more game. It seemed like it was too long, but maybe that's just me.
But I mean, it was playoff February. It's like they said on the Dr. Pepper commercials. I mean, yeah, I mean that is true. But I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I still prefer college football over NFL football for the most part. So
Absolutely.
the
Absolutely.
longer it can last, the better I think it is. I think it is. But I mean, I guess in terms of things that potentially change, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with you. It's one of those where, but if trying to figure out how you can make the SEC championship or conference championship mean more. But I think it is true, like you were saying with Boise State and Arizona State getting some of those buys, where I think they need to go to more where the conference champions get in, but then they have a seeding just based on how everybody's doing at the end of the year. Versus,
I think that's where they're going. It's going to be based mostly on the rankings. And to Arizona State's credit, I mean they stepped up. I mean Boise
Mhm.
State couldn't, but yeah, it was a different year. Maybe that's just going to take some time for me to get into. But yeah, I'm old. I want the championship game to matter, and I think it should going forward. I'm worried about that weekend when so much is on the line. That's what we've worked for. We know that's what we want as Georgia fans to win the SEC, and I hope that remains true. Otherwise, it's just going to take a weird turn, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
Yeah, because I mean, again, it was the two teams that didn't have to play on that championship weekend, or the two of the ones that got there made the end run. I mean, yeah, it was definitely Ohio State was through the whole playoffs. They definitely seemed like the best team in there. Granted, Texas. I mean, if you go back and look at that game, Texas could have scored right there if it wasn't for that strip sack and fumble return, which of course did happen. But I mean, they're about to tie the game potentially. I mean, they were right there on the doorstep.
Wasn't that his old roommate who did that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was when yours was at Ohio State. So I mean, yeah, he did. He picked his pocket and took it to the house and shut him down. So, but anyway.
Yeah, you're right. There were some good games, and you're right. The more college football, the better. But I don't know. It seemed to take too long. It seemed to be like, oh yeah, there's going to be. Maybe that's because it was two northern teams. I don't know. Maybe I was just forgotten that it was going on. But
yeah. How about you, Cord? What would you want to change?
I mean, that's a long season, with all that punishment. But they're getting paid now. But one thing I don't like about it is the playoff seeding. You said conference championships matter, and they sure matter to Clemson. Look where they went. I don't think SMU or Indiana should have been in there. Tennessee was the only team that had the same seed beginning and after. Gosh, look at Ohio State. They're number 8. They're number 1 now. I mean, it's plus or minus 8 when they do these seedings.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, what a train wreck. Oregon, they've been overrated the whole season. They could have asked me that. They're still overrated at the end of the season.
Yeah. What did they end up?
And that's what
3.
Third? Yeah.
They should be 13.
Yeah.
Rankings don't matter because Texas is what 4 and we're 6, and we beat them twice. I mean, what do we need to do? Beat them 3 times to prove we're better than them?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just bullshit. But yeah, it was a good season. It was different, so we'll take it and move on.
Yeah.
But I think that Notre Dame Georgia game kind of hurt Georgia's in this rankings. They couldn't do anything, and I don't think Notre Dame's number 2. Granted, I think they were missing 8 starters, and I think they're having 16 come back, so they're going to be a force to reckon with next year.
Who, Notre Dame?
But I do think they were the second best team in the playoffs. If we break like Nam was alluding to.
No, I think they're the second luckiest team in the playoffs.
Is it really luck though? I mean, again,
it is luck. It's third and short. It's third and short. Give it to your quarterback to run 3 yards behind that big old line. That's it.
But that's what Marcus Freeman did. I mean, he had them ready to play in the playoffs, and they evolved, and they, same thing with Ohio State. They were, the better team in the playoffs, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Nama.
No, I mean, again, they figured out what they needed to do to be able to win in a single game. I mean, it's one of those where if you can, as a coach, figure that out. I mean, the only thing I hated was Marcus Freeman looked like he was just lost in the national championship game. I mean, he didn't have – it's like except for that first drive when I think they might have killed Riley Leonard with as many – I mean, they had 18-play drive, and I think Leonard ran it on 12 of them. I mean, they killed him.
What are you going to do?
I mean, But I mean, it was their defense played incredibly well. They had a couple of letdowns or whatever, but I mean, it was. I mean, Notre Dame did exactly what they needed to do to beat the teams they did. I mean, they had a great game plan against us. I mean, again, that Georgia game, Lord have mercy, they scored 2 touchdowns in the span of a minute and 30 seconds on a pick, an interception, and a quick play and a
That
touchdown.
never happened. See,
Right.
See, lucky.
Well, but I mean, but they also put
That's
themselves in a
playoffs.
good position. So I mean, that's what you got to be. It is exactly like you said about the Major League Baseball. You've got to be the one that catches fire toward the end of the season. They lost to Northern Illinois, and they said every game was a playoff game for them moving forward because they knew, because they had no conference championship.
They had
If
to
they
win 'em.
lost another
Yeah.
game, but they did. They had that mindset. They went through and they did it. I mean, for everybody saying that Ohio State was done, they shouldn't be in there. They lost to Michigan. Lord have mercy. I've never seen a team turn a loss like that into such a battle cry. That was a team that looked nothing like I saw them at any point during the course of the season. They
I
had
mean, where was that team? I mean, they crushed Tennessee, and then they crushed Oregon, the number one fake team in the country.
Right.
And then struggled a little bit against Texas.
Right.
And manhandled Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame actually made that a game. I thought that was going to be turned into a blowout. Notre Dame made it a game in the fourth quarter. I thought got a little bit closer until
they didn't cover. Oh,
I know, so close,
didn't
so
cover.
close, so close.
Crap.
But I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
and
you're
then
right.
there's the
Who
whole
didn't
thing
cover?
too. Notre Dame.
I told you to pick Ohio State.
Yeah, you told us that after the game was started. But anyway,
I have proof.
yeah. But I guess the one other game, that Arizona State game, that was a team too. They were fun to watch with that Cam Scatterboo, and the whole thing that the field goal should have counted. That was crazy. Did y'all see that? You know what I'm talking about?
Remind me.
They were the ones that they lost by 3 points, but they kicked a field goal toward the end of the game that was blocked, but it kept moving towards the goalpost. It bounced, hit the ground, went through the goalpost. It should have counted. That actually is in the rule books and whatever. That should have actually been counted as a field goal. So again, Texas would have had a chance to do something at the end of the game, but they were able to just run out the clock.
I totally missed that.
I know. Well, the announcers didn't say anything about it during the game. They didn't see it, but it's one of those things that came out after it was over. That was just an egregious missed call on the field. That again
I
could have.
still think they would have lost to Ohio State.
No, I'm not saying they wouldn't have either, but
yeah,
I mean,
but they could. They were the team that had the best chance to win. That had a bye, and they fought their ass off, and credit to them. I mean, that's a young. They have a young coach. I forget his name, but
Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, they'll be around for a while.
I mean, again, his whole story was pretty cool. I mean, he played there. He grew up there, down the street from it. His parents still live 2 doors down from him. His sister lives behind him. His brother lives a couple doors down. And he went away, coached at a couple other places, then came back, and now is their head coach. I mean, it's pretty cool. But anyway.
I was impressed overall by Ohio State, Penn State, Arizona State, and Notre Dame got lucky. Other than that, that was it.
So what about Penn State?
Yeah.
Penn State, they did pretty good. I mean, they crushed Boise State. They barely lost to Notre Dame, by 3.
Yeah.
They beat the tar out of SMU, who shouldn't have been there.
Right.
So, I mean, you could have interchanged Ohio State, Penn State. I don't know. What was the score of their head-to-head matchup? I know Ohio State won.
They won. That was actually a shootout. It was actually a shootout toward the end.
A touchdown, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, Penn State made that more of a game than many people thought it was going to be, for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, they did. Penn State did play well coming up to it. But yeah, it was their quarterback just kind of fell apart at the wrong moment there at the end of the game, threw a couple of ill-advised passes and created the turnovers that let Notre Dame seal the victory. But
yeah, yours is doing the same thing at the end when he's trying to force stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, we can get into the whole thing with Ewers and Beck and all the other things and all that stuff coming up. But
So what is y'all's perfect case scenario for the playoffs? I said I'm 6,
They got to
2
fix.
buys.
They got to fix the pre-playoff seeding.
Yeah, right. But I mean, what's your perfect scenario for how many teams get invited?
I didn't mind 12.
yeah, I kind of like the 12. I mean, but I agree. I think
Unless you're number 13.
Oh, miss.
Were they number 13? I thought they were number like 15.
They're the only
Yeah, I
team
think
that wasn't in the pre that moved up into the postseason rankings.
Gotcha. No, I mean I agree.
Right,
I think
lame.
it's the 12. I think it's the 12 teams. I like the conference champions getting in, but I do think you should be seeded by how you've been playing. I don't think there's any seeded according to that don't have to jostle the seeds around as much as you did. But it's one of those things. I heard some other another podcast talking about it too. Is I actually thought the on-campus thing was an amazing part of it, which would have been, especially for the teams that got to buy. It's one of those where, I mean, I think if Georgia had been able to host the game, it would have been a whole different thing. It's one of those, if you win your conference championship, I think that you're having ability to host a home game would be a bigger thing where you could use a bowl game for the first round games and then let the home team host. I mean, the biggest issue with that is truly whether you get that much further into December or January 1st, the weather could be even that much more of an issue. But if those teams to make the conference championships or to make doing really well overall a bigger thing, I think that would be an interesting way to do it. So having, like I said, again, if Georgia had been able to host that after winning the championship, or Oregon had been able to host theirs, or whatever. Sorry, I know University of Zero and everything.
No
but
one would go out to that game.
Right. But I mean, I honestly think that should be a bigger thing, because I think it gives you even more of an edge than playing a neutral site game.
Well, I mean, what is it? 20 days? 20 days of rest for those teams?
If they played the championship. Well, no, it's more than that.
From the SEC playoff to Georgia's first game, was that 20 days?
It was more, because I mean that was on like the 7th or 9th, and we didn't play till the 2nd of January.
So the benefit is, a lot of those guys that can heal in 20 days can get fixed.
Right.
The drawback is that coach has to get these guys in the mindset. I mean, gosh, that's like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
3.5 weeks. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we had said when we like that last one, we thought that time off was going to be good because, again, like Bernie said, change the offense, get all that stuff ready. But I mean, again, not having a single team that had a bye win a game was kind of interesting. So
we should have thrown the SEC championship.
Or just not gone and still been good.
No,
I know,
have
Bernie.
that. It's ours.
You should have deferred to Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Come on, Kiffin. You can play.
All right.
We lost a quarterback without a head and an arm, and we still won.
We did. All right. Well, anything else y'all want to throw in about the overall or playoffs and everything like that, or think we can put this one to bed for now?
I don't think so. I think you hit on it, Nama. I think next year they'll make adjustments to the seating, and Cord said that as well. And we'll just see how it plays out next year, and they'll just make adjustments based on the money. It's all about the money.
It's all about the money, baby. All about the money. Cord, anything else? Parting thoughts?
Yeah. Our sponsor this week. Shout out to my new favorite cousin, Kate. Hat Light. You guys seen
Hat Light?
Nice. Oh,
what is that?
Hands free. ROQ Innovation. They got them in black. They got them in white. They got them in gray. And I'm working on it. They got headbands. They got baseball hats. They got a unisex beanie. This is my unitard beanie, what the kids call me.
It's a unitard?
Yeah, and then I got a prototype finger lights.
Oh goodness.
So I am all lit up.
Cousin Kate gave you those?
No, but I'm lit up.
More ways than one. All right.
No, I just had to give a shout out to my new favorite cousin.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm glad you got a chance to meet.
Yes.
Because we are in no way getting rewarded by these companies.
Well, actually, if you go online, you get 10% off your first order if you mention 4th and 3 Dudes.
Nice.
Oh, really? Do you?
ROQ-or-innovation.com, as seen on Shark Tank.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, and for that special lady friend, they have the ones with little fuzzy balls on top. They're like those.
Special.
Well, like the snowball thing. And it's Oprah's favorite thing. So there you go.
It's one of Oprah's favorite things. I mean, again, now you've just taken it to a different level. So
We're jumping the shark.
we are. All right. Well, if you've hung around with us this long, thank you very much. Shout out to Cousin Kate. But we will be coming back to you in the next week or so to look ahead at the Dogs working the transfer portal and looking ahead to next year. And same with the Beavers, too. See if it's going to be a Pac-12, Pac-20, Pac-13. I don't know. We'll figure out what they are.
The Beavers picked up Phil Knight when he jumped in the portal.
Nice. You could only hope, my brother. You could only hope.
Natty for you.
All right. But anyway, until then, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Adios.
Well, enough of that. Let's get to recording.
Hurry up.
Let's get back to
bedtime in 24 minutes.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Let me strip down.
What?
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Hold on. Please start.
Keep that in.